Hey everybody, it's Mark here again and welcome back to Digi Profits. In this video we're going to have a look at Ethereum and whether or not it's possible that Ethereum could be the cause of both the next major leg down and possibly even the start of the next bull run upwards. So there's a lot to cover here and I'm going to try and cover it in a short space of time. So I'll just get underway right away. First of all, if you have a look at my little white lines here, ignore the green ones there, just the white ones here. What we can see here is the RSI, and we can see the price action. So this is called bearish divergence. It's where you've got the price going up, but the relative strength index is saying things are going down. This is over a daily time frame, so this is actually played out over several days when this sort of thing happens. And generally, maybe 80+% of the time, I've probably drawn that one a little bit long there, but try and match it up with the length of that one. Generally, what you see when this happens, when one goes up, the other goes down, you end up with more downside action. And in this case, it went way down, right? So you went from here, boom, down there. What happened the other time? It went, well, this isn't quite divergence on a scale exactly the same. This is more of a flat across movement, but it still led to downside action. You could shorten that up and say that was sort of divergent at that point in time there. And then, yes, it did carry on up for a smidgen, and then it went down, or crossways and then down. So it'd be arguable that that one was a less of a indicator, although over several days it was a bigger indicator. Here we've got this one, divergent, downside action. We've got divergent, sharp downside action. Now you would say that's short period of time. This is a longer period of time, but for the percentage it went down, the actual percentage is very, very high. Like we're talking, it went from $2,000 down to $12.98. So we're talking like a 35% move to the downside following this. So it's a reasonable lump there. And again, divergent, and then a short, sharp move to the downside, but it stayed down for quite some time at that point there. So that was going from, this is a long way back now, going from about $500 down to about a 40% move down to about $300. So it's not guaranteed that that would play out, but it's something to keep in mind when you look at these things. Now, why have Ethereum bulls been accumulating so much Ethereum following this particular crash here, and why are they selling right now? I mean, on-chain indicators are showing that the last few days Ethereum bulls have been selling, although the price has been going up, but that's largely driven by retail and other people at play. But in terms of the number of wallets owning a lot of Ethereum, a lot of that is being sold off at the moment by the bulls the last few days. Why would they be selling now but buying around here? Well, when you have the Celcius collapse, I think a lot of Ethereum bulls saw an opportunity because they knew that Celcius was not going to release the users' funds. So that meant that there is a lot of Ethereum locked. Essentially, Ethereum that may otherwise be sold was not being sold because they locked it. They left it. They're stuck. It's stuck in Celcius until further things play out there. So effectively, there's less supply on the market. So they accumulated. They bought more, and as they bought more, the price went up. Right, as we've seen, the price went up. Now there was some bullish divergence where we kind of went in a flat line there, but the bottoms kept going up, and that did lead to a sharp move to the upside there. Okay, so it can happen the other way around when you look at the bottoms forming, and then if they go flat across, or more particularly if that's price is going down, but this is going up, and then you can see it happen that way around. However, in this particular case, price went straight across, and we had the same move and it went down. So that's why I say it doesn't happen every time. Okay, it literally doesn't happen every time, but it does happen more often than not. That's why people do look at the bullish and bearish divergences, but they don't play out every time. So maybe there's going to be a time when Celcius allows withdrawals, or they end up having to sell a lot of their Ethereum that they own or they have in order to pay back creditors and stuff, although I do believe they paid back a lot of creditors. But there's going to be some event. That money can't be locked forever, and you can't assume that people are just going to leave it in Ethereum, the Ethereum that they do own, which is one of the major assets on there, also Bitcoin and a lot of other currencies. So if those users finally get their funds and they sell, then you're going to have another leg down probably, or at least another bit down anyway, to some degree. It may not be a leg down just from that alone, but that could be a catalyst. And perhaps looking at how high the RSI is anyway, some Ethereum bulls, and seeing this divergence play out, some Ethereum bulls are saying, you know what, it's time to take some profits so that we can buy more after a little leg down. In terms of the downtrend line that's forming itself, and you've got to take trend lines a little bit with a grain of salt. We haven't actually hit the top of it yet, so it's potentially, there's still quite a big move to the upside that could be made before we get invalidated that it's going to retest a lower level at some point. So there's still quite a way it could go potentially, but we have hit our 100-day moving average, and during an uptrend we tend to hold it as support, it tends to hold as support. Sometimes we come back and test it and then holds as support, but then during a downtrend we tend to hold it as resistance or travel along it, and then now it's resistance again potentially. So, I think that certain bulls out there in the world of Ethereum would be saying, you know what, some of my position, they probably haven't sold all of their position at all, but some of my position, I think I'll put it back into stable coins and see if I can re-enter, and that's what's happening. Plus, at the moment, shorts have decreased a lot. So a lot of the shorts have been liquidated, especially between here and here, but also between here and here. So people that were shorting from the wrong positions, there's a lot less shorts, and there are a lot more people leveraging long now on Ethereum. So that could eventually, even if it could keep pushing up as more people buy, it could eventually lead to another downward motion, whether that's back down to sort of this sort of a trend line, or whether it's retesting perhaps this level here, around the $1,300 level, remains to be seen. Whether we ever hit this low again, I don't want to say we will, but it's, there's always that possibility. Things are certainly looking increasingly bullish for the long term. However, employment numbers came out today in the US, and about 500 million new jobs have come up. Wages are going up as well, which makes me think that it's quite possible that the Fed won't pivot as soon as what a lot of people are anticipating, because all of these are indications that inflation is not getting under control. Because if it was, unemployment would actually be going up. There'd be less jobs. Wages wouldn't be going up. And prices and all of that sort of stuff as well wouldn't be going up. So if they stop now, then they're really only kicking the can down the road a very short period of time before inflation gets out of control. So it's possible, not saying it's definite, it's possible that they would revisit that strategy, although politically it might not be helpful to them. So they've got a lot to think about. So anyway, I'm just saying this so that you guys are careful, because ultimately you want to be, if you're going to buy in, you want to be buying in on these dips. And if you really want to look for a good opportunity, it's better to buy when the RSI or the I like this one a little bit better, the qualitative easing is at a low end. So down here, I'll just try and shrink in this RSI. Like when you're down around that 30 level for RSI, or around 22 for this level, or 20, or even 25, those are periods where you're more likely to see that upside action from there, even if it proves that the next time that we're at this level, we end up going to here and then bouncing back to here, and then you're at a higher level. You want to see confirmation that it's moving up, of course. Don't just buy it here. You buy it when it's like here, so the equivalent would have been buying around about this level. I've been basically shorting from these tops. I shorted from here to here, here to here, looking at re-entering a short now. I just sort of dollar cost averaging in at the moment. Not so much shorting Ethereum. It's more a little bit, but it's more coins like Harmony One and other weaker altcoins are what I look at in terms of if doing a short. But certainly around these levels, I like to accumulate more longs. That's for sure. Okay, so anyway, this is not financial advice. This is just giving you an alternative view or another outlook so that you can be a bit safer when it comes to buying the crypto and not just chasing the next rise upwards when other indications may show that there's a bit of weakness in the market at the moment, despite the fact that there's been several days of, I guess, moves upwards. It can't last forever, and you can see that things do tend to go in waves like that. So I'd just be careful out there. There may be a little bit of a move upwards. There may be a blow off top. It might come up like that. I'm just saying that indications are that if we're going to end up with a longer period to the upside, that's probably going to play out in the next wave or in a wave after. So I'd be looking to see what's going to happen over this little period of time ahead. Just be careful. Always use dollar cost averaging. If you're going to buy right now, I would buy with a small position relative to what you are thinking of buying in at, and then just see where price takes us. Okay, so this isn't just for Ethereum. Ethereum is in so many different liquidity pools. Like, I've just jumped over here to Trader Joe. ETH, AVAX, $23 million. ETH USDC over here. But ETH's in with a whole lot of other coins on a whole lot of other platforms. Like, we're talking thousands of different coins that it's wrapped with. So if the price of ETH goes down, especially if it's dramatically, it pulls down a ton of altcoins with it. So, and including Bitcoin, it can, even though Bitcoin has 40-something% of the market, it still has a reasonable percentage of the crypto market. I can't remember what the dominance is for ETH now. Okay, it's 19.51%, so it's roughly just under half of Bitcoin. It's dominant, so it can pull Bitcoin down with it as well. And then if Bitcoin starts going down, it pulls down the other coins anyway. So I'm just saying that ETH is at the moment, due to the movements of some of the whales, due to what we're seeing with that, the divergence and so forth, and what's going on. We've had interest rates have gone up, which means that bonds are going to go up. All right, I've just gone over to the bonds graph because, I mean, if the yields are going to go up, interest rates have gone up, so the yields are going to go up, so you're going to get more people investing in bonds. That those yields are going to go up. So, and that's not entirely, but it's got a slight inverse correlation. Sometimes it's less pronounced. I'd probably have to zoom in to see that's probably not entirely as flat as that looks, but it's perhaps if I chuck that on a logarithmic scale, there we go. Now it's more inversely correlated, isn't it? But it's just stuff to bear in mind. There's a lot of things going on, and you can't just try to look at what's just happened. Oh, things have just gone up and up and up, therefore it must be the start of the next bull run. But you also got to look at other indicators to make sure that you stay safe and don't go all in, because there are other factors at play that may lead to there being at least one more leg down, maybe more, who knows. Okay, so anyway, that's it for this particular video. I'm interested to know your thoughts and comments. Please comment below if you have any, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like this video and hit the like button. It really helps as well. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.